Well, he's a part of the legendary Faria family of California's Central Valley, and he's going to be joining us here on the Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed podcast. We're talking to Dawson Faria about how he got started in racing and continuing the Faria Racing family name, along with some success he had this year, including a top 5 at King Speedway in Hanford against the NARC 410 series when they took the wings off in April. That is coming up after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. Well, joining me is Dawson Faria, driving the famed number 12 car from Tipton, California. And Dawson, 2023, things kind of winding down in California for the race season. And for you guys ran a little bit of a limited schedule this year, but you were able to put up some decent performances in the feature starts that you were able to make.
Yeah, we're kind of a low budget team compared to a lot of the guys that run up and down the West Coast. We're kind of sticking around to what we have locally here in Tulare and Hanford, and dabbling a little bit into Bakersfield and stuff. But we only ran, I think, 11 shows this year total between the wing and the non-wing. And yeah, I wish we could get more, but with how busy we are outside of racing, makes it a little more difficult. Than we don't have the luxury of some of the other people, you know.
Sure. And I think there was a couple times where there was a Friday and Saturday show, but you were unable to make it for Friday. I think it was schooling on one occasion, but you were able to make it for Saturday, and no doubt a handicap for you in which all the teams get that Friday night in. And you were able to kind of come in Saturday, but I know that, moving forward, you guys would like to race some more.
Yeah, I think that was the Roth. I had some plans I made earlier on in the year, like I think before the schedules were even announced, and I couldn't back out of those, and I barely made it to Saturday night. We finished up at I don't know, it's like 2:45. I had about an hour drive back to Tulare, and I made it. I pulled into the track, and the driver's meeting was 5 minutes out, so I barely made it to that one.
Yeah, no.
But, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
But, and then, yeah, there's just sometimes Trophy Cup was really nice for us. That was a big boost, not only for my team, but for me as a driver, knowing that I can hang with some of these guys that maybe not run in California that often. Like, there's some guys like Baylog and Peck and Schoenberg that I was able to kind of hang with them a little bit in my heat races and stuff. And that was a big boost for me, knowing that I can still hang,
Yeah, a lot of your race spent at Thunderbowl Raceway in Tulare, which that is a place that's near and dear not just to your heart, but your family's heart. The Faria family and racing at Thunderbowl Raceway has been a staple for a long time.
Yeah, we hold the Faria Memorial race there, and my cousin, he's I think almost done racing. It's tough for him and for me as well, but I think he's not going to be able to do it much longer, and I'm kind of holding up the reins as much as I can.
Sure.
And I'm enjoying every second that I get, enjoying my chances,
So for listeners that are unfamiliar with the Faria family, it's a pretty extensive family of racing with a lot of success as well. And Dawson, your dad is Danny Jr. Hollywood, Danny Faria Jr. And then and then Steve Faria runs the racetrack, and that is to relation to you in what way?
He's my dad's cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd be I guess my second cousin. I don't know. I don't really know what he would be to me. I just call him my cousin Steve.
There you go. And then you've got the Chris and Brian Faria Memorial, the memorial race you're talking about, and then there was a Mike Faria, and was it Richie Faria that used to run too?
Yeah, I don't think we have any relation to Ricky, but yeah, Mike, he's my uncle, so he's my dad's brother, and then Jared, my cousin, which is Mike's son. So we were at one point. I was running micros, Jared was running micros, and then my Uncle Mike and my dad, they were running sprint cars. We were all one big racing family, but now it's just down to me and my cousin.
There you go. And then Jared spent some time, was it with the Western Race Savers quite a bit, correct? The 305s?
Yeah, he ran the 305s back when they kind of first started going, and he enjoyed that. And then he went up into the 360s and wasn't really quite enjoying the success that he had in the 305s before.
And then for you, where did everything kind of start? For obviously at the racetrack, no doubt a lot with your family's closeness to racing. Where for you as a driver started? Micro sprints, you'd say?
I started, running restricted 600s in Visalia, Plaza Park, and Lemoore Raceway. I would really run on the Friday nights in Visalia, and then my dad go race on Saturday with either the non-wing, the USAC 360s, or he'd run with CRA too. So we would go run micros one night, and then the next night we were traveling wherever my dad was running. When he ran, he got 2 championships in 2013 and 2015, and I started. I'm in my 7th year right now. So I started 2016. So right after he finished those championships, he kind of focused on me more than he did himself, I guess.
Well, I remember a lot. I mean, your dad was a very popular guy when they would announce his name for Trophy Cup. When I would go down there, it'd be the only time I'd really be in the Central Valley, 10 years ago. So, and he had a lot of, and was it Tulare? He had a lot of success in which he got a big win, or was it Kings? I can't remember. I think it was a USAC CRA race that he won.
He ran pretty good in Hanford. He didn't have as much success in Tulare as he really would have liked to, but he got one win. He won the Faria Memorial race, and he won one night of the Peter Murphy Classic, the non-wing portion, when they still did that.
Okay. And then and then the Faria race, was that the non-wing portion? Is that Golden State / NARC, whatever it was called then?
It was the non-wing, so I think it was a 360, non-wing 360 at that time. Okay.
And then
2015.
And then for you, making the switch from micros to sprint cars, what was that like, and about when did that happen? That no doubt had to have been an eye-opening experience for you.
Yeah, so I started running sprint cars last year, and my first laps were in a non-wing 410 sprint car. I got a little practice day at Tulare, and I probably turned about 50 laps, and I tell you, I was probably running the brake a little bit too much, but my left leg started shaking when I got out of the car. And I mean, the sheer power difference just from the micro to the sprint car is insane. You're going from 120 to 150 horsepower in the micro to almost 900, maybe more for some guys in the sprint car. So, I mean, that alone was insane. Plus getting used to the feel of the width and the length of the car, when I need to turn in, how much throttle input is really going to affect what the car is doing through the corner and coming off. It's a completely different ball game running from the micro to the sprint car for sure. Well, and that was just the non-wing side, and then the wing side's even more of a challenge, I feel like.
Well, and I was going to say 2 racetracks. You got Kings, and then you got Tulare. And I feel like Kings, it's a 3/8. It's big on speed, and it can be a little forgiving if you miss your mark and you go off the top a little bit. Whereas Thunderbowl, it may not be as fast. I mean, by all means, correct me. I mean, you're still going fast. You're still delivering mail for sure, but it's a little bit more unforgiving because you hop the curb with the walls all around it, and it can just destroy your night.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, either one is tough because you're either sliding off the racetrack in Kings, you're either sliding off the track, losing like 7 spots if you just fall off the edge just by a couple inches, and in Tulare you could ruin your whole race car just by missing the cushion just a little bit. They definitely both have their challenges, but Kings, you're carrying a little bit more speed, I feel like, just because how much more sweeping the corners are versus Tulare, a little more of a hairpin, so it kind of scrubs a little bit of the speed off.
Well, and speaking of Kings, you guys had a really good run there. You finished 5th at the Anthony Simone Classic, the non-wing portion, which was a NARC-sanctioned, non-points paying, but a NARC-sanctioned event. And that was really a unique part that they had put together for that race where, obviously the wing 410 stuff was the main attraction, but then when everything was said and done, about 8-9 teams committed to running the non-wing deal and ended up with a 5th, and no doubt that had to feel good.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure because you switch. It's a completely different setup when you typically run non-wing, like a wider front axle and change the bird cage around and the angles and stuff, and you can't really do any of that with like the 10 minutes that they give you to get your car ready from wing to non-wing. So you really just take the wings off and you're hoping for the best, maybe change some shocks around. And those cars, when they're not set up exactly for non-wing, they're a little bit sketchy to drive. I mean, there was a couple times I pulled wheelies down the whole back straightaway just trying, like not even full throttle, about half throttle. I couldn't even set the nose down.
Well, and they just let you guys hot lap a little bit, and that was kind of it, and kind of threw you to the wolves literally, and you hope that you had your running shoes on.
Yeah, you really just hope that guys. My guys gave me a decent package, and I was able to have some fun with it, and that was really all we wanted to do. Just have a little bit of fun, That's all we're here for. If you're not having fun, why are you here?
Sure. Well, you were able to get 1 top 5, but 3 top 10s and 8 feature starts that you were able to make the main event. And those additional top 10s was in 410 non-wing action. One of them was the dirt track at Kern County, and I believe the other one was at Thunderbowl had been the Faria race.
Yeah, there was a couple non-wing. Non-wing we seem to be pretty good, but I'm tending to like the wing a little bit more. We had a NARC race at Kings. I don't know if it was just a random Saturday or if it was a big event, but we had a decent run. I think we were like 11th or 12th or something, and we charged from the B main to that spot, passing cars left and right, and that was pretty eye opening,
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, especially with the wealth of talent that is already in existence with NARC, and then you've got sort of this wonderful youth movement of drivers coming in. Dylan Bloomfield, Joey Ancona, yourself, Corey Day, of course, Cole Macedo. I mean, a lot of product of Lemoore Raceway and Plaza Park as well with micro guys.
Yeah, no doubt. I raced against all of those guys back when I ran micros, and Gage and Jade Avedizian. I raced against her too back in restricted, and it's just cool to see all the different paths that everyone gets to take whenever you branch out of your little bubble of micro racing.
Well, with kind of 2023, closing the door, just a few races left as far as sprint cars are concerned. What are you guys looking at ahead for 2024, or do you guys have a plan for next year?
As of now, we haven't talked about much. I think we're gonna strictly run wing as far as next year goes. We're not gonna run any non-wing stuff into next year, and we don't really have a schedule obviously yet. We haven't gotten any tracks that have put anything out, but we'll probably stick to kind of our similar program, running somewhat local, and then I want to get up to Watsonville a couple weekends, and maybe even Placerville if they run a 2-night deal. Run Ocean one night and then Placerville the next, just to get a couple more laps under my belt and get a little more comfortable with my race car, and learn some things.
And then you haven't went to Ocean before, right?
I haven't been to Ocean, and I haven't been to Placerville either. I haven't been to either. I haven't even seen it in person, either one of those racetracks. Another race that I'd like to get to, which I'm not sure if I could, and I can't commit to anything yet, but I'd really like to run Gold Cup at Chico. Just for the event, it's a lot more like Trophy Cup, and you get a whole lot of laps under your belt in one weekend, which is what we really need.
Sure, no doubt. And that event is kind of swinging back in a great way with more cars. It's been back to the 3-day format when it wasn't for quite some time. And when they're adding days and they're adding more things, that's generally a good, healthy sign of that things are going in a good direction.
Yeah, the cars are up, the purses are up, and I mean, sure, so the talent is right there with it. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get over there. I'd really like to, but I got to find some good funding to allow us to be there and to allow us to be competitive while we're there as well.
Well, and who are some of the people or who are some of the sponsors are helping you out so far with your racing career?
So who's been with me every year is Quail Farms, and I can't thank them enough. And F&J Shot, JC Lansdowne, Barcelos Farms, ADCD Trucking, just to name a few. Livingston Dairy Consulting, Gloss Empire. There's a whole lot of people that help get me into the racetrack every week that I can, and while I'm there, I got my crew. I got my dad, Butch, Speedy, and Joseph, and Brandon, my girlfriend, Maddie, my mom, my sisters. Everyone's there to support me and help me out along the way.
Well, Tipton, there may be some people that may not know where that's at. That is pretty much directly south of Tulare on Highway 99, correct?
Yeah, I'm about 10 minutes south of, about 10, 15 minutes south of Tulare, just off the 99.
Okay, so Tipton, CA. For anybody that ever wants to visit there, what are some cool things to do, or is there any sort of point of interest for your hometown?
There's not really nothing here in Tipton. I always consider myself more of a Tulare guy.
Okay.
I mean, when everyone asks where I'm at, I always just say Tulare because it's too hard to explain Tipton to them. And I mean, Tulare, there's a lot of interesting things to do. Nothing like too crazy like you can get elsewhere, but obviously, I mean, we got Trophy Cup, which is a big point of interest, and we got the Tulare Fair, and nothing really a whole lot more else than that. We're kind of boring little town, small town, you know.
Well, you guys got an outlet kind of mall there, a movie theater on the east side of the 99. I took my kids for morning walks over there with the stroller one time for Trophy Cup. Apple Annie's, that's a staple.
Oh yeah, Apple Annie's is good. Again, everybody loves Vejar's, little Mexican restaurant right by the racetrack. Shoot, I went with some Corey Days guys. We went to Vejar's all 3 days for lunch.
And that's just across the street, right?
Yeah, just across the street.
And they got like they got an inflate. Don't they have like some sort of inflatable things like not a bounce house, or maybe it is a bounce house or something like that.
Sometimes they do, but most of the time they're just a regular restaurant. They got a little bar area and cool place to hang out.
Sure.
When you get away from the track.
Sure, yeah, and right next to the track, what is it, Orlando Lakes? Is it a creamery? Is that what you would call it, where they make the butter and everything?
Yeah, so they'll bring their milk in from the dairies and whatever they need it to be, ice cream, butter, or they just pasteurize it, make it into some regular old milk.
Awesome. Not, and an In-N-Out. So you're definitely in a place where I feel like you're somewhere if you live in a California town and there's an In-N-Out.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to have that In-N-Out there. We just got that. I think it was last year. They just built it, and it's been nice to have it there for sure. But it's always jam packed. So good luck trying to get any food there if you don't want to wait 30 minutes in line.
For sure. And I think not too far from it is a really cool restaurant that I didn't know they existed until I went to Trophy Cup probably in 2014, but Farmer Boys. And they have one by the hotel that I stay at a lot in Hanford as well. It seems like it's a local chain, and, I mean, it's really good food.
I'm not sure if I've ever eaten at Farmer Boys, but I know where it's at, but I don't think I've ever eaten there before. I'll have to try it out.
Oh man, you're missing out. That's for sure.
Sounds like it.
Well, Dawson, it's been great catching up with you and everything, and hear about your journey and some of the things that you'd like to accomplish. When a schedule comes together, do you have somewhere that you post that or post results of your guys' races? Anything like that, or have a place like a website or a social media page that people can, if you guys have apparel, where they can purchase it?
Yeah, so whenever I get my all my ducks in a row and get all my sponsors and everything lined up for 2024, I'm planning on making T-shirts and sweatshirts and hats and a bunch of cool stuff like that, and I'll probably post that on my personal page, just my name _12B on Instagram, and then on Facebook it's just Dawson Faria on Facebook, and I'll post that there. And as far as the website, I'm not sure if I'll do a website, but I'd really like to, and then ship out shirts from there. But as far as for right now, just the shirts will be available at the racetrack and the trailer after the races.
Awesome. Well, it's like I said, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and hear your story and watching you race the times that I've been down in that area this year in the Central Valley, and can't wait to see where your racing career is going to go.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your time.
Well, that is going to do it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button on whatever platform you found this interview at. It really helps us grow the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll be back with more content and interviews in the future. Be sure and have a great evening or a great rest of your day, whatever time you're listening.